Now on the APEC VIP hotline, cutting-edge training for the serious athlete, apecgo.com. Joining us now from rattlinhumpsports.com, the Texas Rangers beat writer, Dic Humphrey. How you doing, Dic?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
Doing well, thank you. Thanks for talking with us. Good to talk to you again. What the hell happened?
Well, the bottom line is this team just really hadn't scored a lot of runs for more than a month. And their scoring over the last 31 games after August was down about 15%. That adds up to about 20 runs. They were 15 wins and 16 losses, and 9 of those losses were by either 1 or 2 runs. So 20 runs would have made a big difference.
How shocking was it, though, to go into that last ball game and with so much riding on that one ball game, watch them get crushed?
You know, even looking at that final score, the turning point of that game was that play where Josh Hamilton dropped the fly ball. I mean, if he catches that, they're out of the inning. It's a tie game, and they go forward. You could just see the wind go out, leave these guys once he dropped that ball and let in 2 more runs. And but, you know, I feel like this team just felt the pressure more to win. They were expected to win, and you constantly heard words like, you know, we're grinding it out. It just looks like it has been drudgery in recent weeks for them. They've definitely played tired, looked tired on the field, made a lot of mental mistakes, and they just haven't played well lately.
You know, I'm looking at guys like Dempster, who they brought in August, thinking that he might be their ace, and he can't hold a 5-1 lead. And you've seen different guys who just have not had the kinds of years. Michael Young has struggled a lot this year. You know, Ian Kinsler has struggled off and on this year. Nelson Cruz. None of these guys has ever gone on, it seems, a real hot streak, except for Adrian Beltre the whole season. Everything's just been like, you know, not clicking on all cylinders since April.
Well, that's true. I mean, they got out to a 15-4 start, and they've been not a whole lot better than a 500 team a good bit of the way. They've been just back and forth. And all the names you named, particularly lately, have not hit well. And Kinsler especially, Elvis Anderson, that's the top 2 guys in your batting order. If they're not on, you don't run, and you don't have base runners on for Hamilton and Beltre to drive in.
So, you know, the worst possible scenario, the only good thing about Friday is at least they've got the ball game at home. They don't have to go on the road, but it's the worst possible scenario you could be in. One game, winner take all. If they were having problems with the pressure before, how are they going to handle this on Friday?
Well, that's interesting. You know, everybody's 0-0, the 10 teams that are left, and all they have to do is win one game, and quite frankly, they may be in better shape by not being a division champion. Because if they do win that game, they'll be opening up at home, and it's a strange situation this year. The 1 and 2 seeds open up on the road. It's a 2-3 format. Well, the 5th game only comes into play in these series historically about 1 and 4. So the home field advantage may make no difference at all to the Yankees, and anybody would tell you they want to open at home. So this could be a blessing in disguise.
And then looking at what Baltimore may be throwing at him, I mean, they're looking at either throwing a rookie or a guy with a 9 earned run average against them. So, you know, they're getting some breaks in this situation, even though it's not the situation you want to be in.
No question. They've played well against Baltimore the entire season, and I expect them to do well Friday. I really do.
Looking down the line, and, you know, worst case scenario, the season ends on Friday. Do you see mass overhaul of this team, tweak? What do you think happens? Particularly, what do you think happens with Josh Hamilton after that play yesterday? I mean, I asked the question on my Facebook and Twitter pages, and, you know, the majority of people, I realize it's knee-jerk, and that's the way fans are, but right now the consensus is don't re-sign him because he's too expensive for the drama that you have to deal with.
You know, I think there's a growing feeling even in the clubhouse that that's exactly on target. Josh just may not be worth it. I mean, he pulled himself out of a game on that next to last road trip, went home with the curious eye problem, missed 5 games. I mean, this is a pennant race. You just can't leave everybody high and dry, and he's an important cog. You know, if they don't want him back, I don't think he'll be back. It's hard to say, but he's almost looked a little bit detached from it all himself. Didn't seem very remorseful over that drop yesterday, and he's a strange guy.
It's a very weird thing, and even the exchange he had with Ron Washington. Washington asks him, in the dugout after he dropped the ball, what happened, and he just kind of gives a cursory answer and just shrugs his shoulders. It's like he didn't care.
Exactly, and I think a lot of his teammates are looking around and they aren't happy about it.
I mean, what does a Michael Young do to a guy like that after something like that goes on? I mean, does he take him in the clubhouse somewhere and give him what for? Or?
I think at this point in time, I don't think anybody cares enough to go do that. I think he's just out on an island by himself.
So it's literally deteriorated to that point, you think?
I do, yeah.
Wow. Okay, so, and then when you look at the pitching staff, of the guys out there, when you start talking about who you can count on, you look at Darvish, you look at Matt Harrison, you say, 75% of the time you feel pretty good about what they're going to do. Everybody else, in my opinion, it's a coin toss from one night to the next. Am I just being overreactive about that?
No, I do think there's a talent base there that going forward they'll be fine. I mean, Derek Holland is undoubtedly the most disappointing pitcher this season. He was the best pitcher on the team last year over the second half of the season, and he just never seemed to get it together. You have to have a feeling that he can do that, and that this can get straightened out. And if you add him, that's 3 solid starters. That's a good base. And I think there's a good chance Alexio Gando gets moved back to the starting rotation. People forget he won 13 games as a starter last year and made the All-Star team.
And what do you do with guys like Feldman? I'm assuming Oswalt won't be back next year.
No, I think it's pretty safe to say Oswalt won't be back. I don't think that's gone very good for anybody there. But Feldman, I think he's in the last year of his contract. He's making a lot of money after he won 17 games, I think, in 08 or 09. Mm-hmm. And I don't think they're going to pay him anywhere what he's been getting paid. So he's likely gone. But there's some good young arms, and this team's going to be fine pitching-wise going forward.
I mean, do you see next year a situation where Profars moves into the lineup and Kinsler moves out of the lineup? Or I've heard this talk about moving him to the outfield. I mean, you still have the same problem. You still got a bat that's just not what it ought to be, I would think.
There's no question he has not been the offensive player he was in 2010, and the biggest difference is Clint Hurdle moved on from Rangers pitching coach to Pirates manager. He really had Kinsler's attention, and Kinsler responded to him. And obviously Kinsler just has not been the offensive player that he was that year since.
What about Cruz?
Cruz has got one more year before he can be a free agent. And he's still a really good player. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's always been streaky, and he gets on those 10-day runs where he can just carry a team. And, they bat him 5th or 6th, and that's a good place for him. He gets on those tears, and that's fine. He doesn't hurt you that much when he's not on one of those tears. So.
But, the good news about all of this is we could be sitting here looking at them win the World Series this year. As goofy as this year's been, they could win Friday and then just streak through. I mean, as crazy as it sounds, it's still possible.
Oh, no question. I mean, every team has a flaw. There are no really good teams this year. You look at the Tigers with Pfister and Verlander and Scherzer for starting pitchers, and nobody's given them much thought, but they could win this thing. So the Yankee starting rotation, I think, is suspect after Sabathia. And, everybody is flawed. And you could just about draw a name out of a hat and have, as good a luck as picking a winner as anything.
All right, then, based on everything that we've talked about right now, gut feel, what do you think happens Friday night?
I think we're going to win. I think they'll win.
Okay.
And you look at how badly they played in Oakland, and they made 5 errors the last 2 games. I mean, it's just ugly. But I just feel like they kind of have Baltimore's number, just watching the games this year during the year. And Baltimore's kind of coming in on fumes, having to look at Joe Saunders or the rookie. And I just feel like the Rangers will do well Friday.
Well, I hope you're right, Dick. We do appreciate you coming on with us. We love reading your stuff, and you can check out Dic Humphrey's stuff on rattleandhumsports.com. Thanks very much for being on with us today.
All right, you have a great day.
You too. Dic Humphrey from rattleandhumsports.com on Bryan Houston Sports Radio Live on 99.3 Talk FM.